Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Collective Podcast. I am Brendan McKeegan, and with me, as always, is
Sean Tasse, your friend in real estate.
That's true. That is who he is. Today on the show, we've got a wonderful lineup for you. We're going to talk about ways to increase your home's value, the top 5 ways to do that. We're going to show you a listing video that we've done and what we kind of do for our clients there. And then later on in the show, we're going to talk about renovation pitfalls. And as always, if you're enjoying the show, if you'd like the last 3 episodes, welcome to episode 4, hit the like, subscribe, share button, turn on the bell for notifications, do all the fun things that influencers will point at that I don't know where they're going to be because we don't know where the windows are set up yet. So here we go, everybody. This is the show. Sean, take it away.
Yeah, so the first thing we'll jump right into is the top 5 ways that you can increase your home's value. With everybody at home these days, it feels like, hey, we've got some extra money. A lot of friends of mine are contractors and we're working harder. We've got people who are spending more and more money on their homes. What do? How do you spend that money? Where is going to be the best bang for your buck? If you're thinking about how am I going to fix on my home now, and I still want to live in it for the next, who knows, right? 5, 10, 25 years. But maybe I'm selling it a little bit sooner. Maybe I'll do something that makes sense. So the last time we jumped in the video, we were talking about what to look for. And like I said, then the pièce de résistance of every home and the thing that everybody is looking for is your kitchen. All right. So you want to put that money into your kitchen as best you can, but don't go wasting it on silly things, right? You want to do your kitchen properly, right?
I thought that was going to be another thing there, but you're absolutely right. And I think with any renovation, a lot of people get carried away. The point of a renovation is to get a return on your investment. So if you're in maybe a condo, maybe it's not the best idea to go get custom cabinetry and, top of the line backsplash and the most expensive sink, because you might not get that back in a condo. Maybe the best route to go is something that's nice and clean and is going to make it look fresh and new and is going to last a while, but doesn't need to be all the bells and whistles. If you're a 5-bedroom house, yeah, maybe you want to put that money into it. But if you're not, maybe you want to do something else instead. Just be smart about what you're choosing. And I think with the kitchen, you can get the good kitchen, you can get a nice backsplash. And a lot of times a backsplash can be a huge advantage to a kitchen. For myself here, I bought this house with comedy money. What? But we renovated the kitchen here, and we'll get into that in a soon. But I did put a little bit more effort into the backsplash than anything. And the kitchen is what a lot of people congregate to. Like when you're having people over, how many times do you have like house parties or, family gatherings and everyone just ends up in the kitchen? It's kind of a natural thing. So make it warm, make it welcoming, make it feel nice in there, and whatever makes you happy. If you're going to be there for a while, do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I've even seen people get away with painting their cabinets and it still looks good, right? You don't have to go for a full replacement job on everything. I mean, if you want to, feel free, but you can get away with, like Brendan said, some countertops, some backsplash, paint your cabinets, maybe replace your appliances with stainless steel ones or whatever. And, that's good. So that's a really surefire way to improve the value of your home for sure.
Absolutely. Second one is probably no surprise to anybody, but bathrooms. Bathrooms get dated really fast. I feel like between that and kitchens, but I mean, how many times before was it like, okay, so bathrooms are going to be all white walls and it's just going to be a white tub and that's going to be it. And that's what you do. And now it's like, oh, what about these hexagon tiles? And then it's going to be, what about tiles that look like Jerry Garcia or something? Like style is changing so quickly, but there are some timeless things that you can do with the bathroom, and especially depending on the bathroom. A lot of people, I think, overlook a main floor powder room, and I think that kind of goes to when you're having guests over. When people are looking at your house, it might be the first bathroom that they see, and if they're like, they look at that one and say, "Oh, this one's nice, that's good," so it might be nice to see that. So that when they go upstairs, like, this is great. And then it's a good return on what you're putting in and what you're getting out of it. And same thing, like you don't have to do gut jobs on bathrooms.
Yeah. And if you are going to be there for a little while longer, don't cheap out on the little things. Like don't overlook the fan, right? Make sure you've got a good fan with a good motor that's blowing up. It's not a lot of money for a fan, but sometimes people just want to get stuck on the cosmetic stuff. Doing those extra things, you might not necessarily see a return on your investment for it, but you're going to preserve the longevity of your home for longer, longevity for longer. But yeah, of course, I mean, look, you can switch out toilets, you can switch out sinks. They've got now sinks that don't go on the floor but are rather floating above the floor. And the stuff, like Brendan said, this, like you said, the style is changing all the time, right?
Yeah, and especially depending on what you're in. If you're a small space, maybe you want to make sure that you're choosing the right sink, the right vanity, something that's off the floor. Because when there's floor space, it gives the illusion that there's more space than there actually is. So if you have one of those wall mount vanities, it's pretty good. Or a pedestal sink, those are good for making it seem like there's more room than there actually is too.
Have you seen the toilet sink combo where the sink is on the back of the toilet because they jammed like a two-piece, like a bathroom in the closet in the front of a small like 40s house? Yeah, those are great.
Yeah. I've also seen a toilet that was not meant to be where it was. It was a 1.5 story home, and the toilet was inside of one of the closets on like one of those slanty roofs. So you had to like back in to sit down on it, which is hilarious to me. And if anyone has ever seen Mrs. Brown's Boys, which by the way is one of the funniest shows ever, I love it. And there's Christmas specials. Go check it out because it was very much like that. They have one under the stairs. So like it's like that, but it was almost like size wise exactly what this place was. And I'm like, why is this here? Because outside of it was a tiny sink and a light by itself. And it looked like this old rundown New York apartment that was just way too much money with like the sad swinging light over top. You're like, I'm just getting ready for work. It was so bad. So yeah, be smart about what you're putting in your spaces. Don't get the largest vanity if you're putting it into a closet.
Right. What do we got for number 3, Brendan?
Number 3, fresh coat of paint. It's simple. It's easy. It's time consuming, but it's easy to do. And it makes your home just look that much cleaner. Most of the time, people will paint before they list. Maybe not the whole house. Maybe you don't need to paint your basement. That's okay. But what you can do and what you're willing to do. And that doesn't mean that you need to paint a mural on the wall. It's just about getting a fresh coat of paint on there.
Yeah, if you do have a mural on your wall, put a fresh coat of paint over top of it because less is more. Yeah, the top 2 things that we tell people when they're listing their house for sale is the number 1 return on your investment. So what you spend and what you get back is the cleanliness of your home. So cleaning up all of the nooks and crannies and the things that you just let go over time, the spider cobwebs that build up, the dead bugs that live inside your light fixtures that you never really clean out. Everybody has them. Those are the things that's the best return on your investment. The second best is always paint, right? And painting probably, we didn't do it for 10 years at our old house, right? We might not do it for another 10. We're not a great example of it, but it's a great way to freshen up a space, and you're definitely going to increase your home's value if it's got fresh paint.
Yeah, and that's it. Like you might not paint for 10 years, but if you're getting ready to list your house, it's a great thing to do. If you can't paint the bathroom, or if you can't renovate the bathroom or renovate the kitchen, put a fresh coat of paint on the walls. Make it look like maybe it's not renovated, but at least the house is clean. And there's something to be said for cleanliness in a house. People can live with that. My house was a walking example of that from when I bought it. We'll get into that in the second half, but that's what people look at when they go to a house. So make sure you're cleaning it. The fourth one is backyard living, everybody, with COVID and everything else. And I'm sure you've seen the price of lumber, and it's gone up and now it's coming back down again. But backyard living is a huge industry right now. People want to live outside.
Yeah, the Chumbawamba of lumber prices. So yeah,
But it got knocked down again.
that's right. Yeah, not yeah.
Yeah. And when it's
The reverse Chumbawamba. Anyways, yeah, for sure. So having your backyard space be appealing is
sorry, reverse Chumbawamba would be like, I got knocked up.
but I get down again.
Yeah.
You get down again and then get knocked up.
Yeah. Well, if you get down again, that's how you get knocked up.
That's right. Yeah.
I get knocked up and I get down again.
Oh, you get down again and then you got knocked up.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Sorry. Backyard living. Back to the pergolas.
Yeah. So many pergolas. There's 14 pergolas in your backyard. No, but having at least a backyard space that's livable, that people can see themselves living and enjoying their life there, especially with everything that's been going on over the last 2 years, having that exterior living space really is going to help increase your home's value. And you're going to enjoy living there from when you do it until when you sell. Pools are like, try and order a pool right now. It won't be installed until next year, maybe the year after. Hot tubs are in short supply as well. And those are the two sort of major backyard additions. Even, I got quoted on a deck, and the size of the deck that I wanted to get, it was going to be almost astronomical. And we ended up, and we'll get into this in a second, but we ended up doing interlock instead of putting a deck down, just because of the difference in price there. So, being thoughtful about how you want to create that exterior backyard space can really go a long way to doing it. And you can hire professionals. There's tons of professional companies that will help you build up what you want to lay your backyard out like. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've probably got a much better eye for laying out and designing around a house, because that's what they do for a living. But I mean, same thing. It doesn't take much to kind of spruce up a backyard. I actually made potted plants with light posts out of them. So I took like a 2-foot tall pot, and at the bottom of it, poured in some cement, put my 2x2 piece of wood all the way straight up, and it was about 8 feet long, I think, and poured that in, put some river rock down, some stones to help drainage. Then I put some soil over top and put in a plant. So I have about 5 of those around my backyard. And then I put string lights all the way around. So it kind of lights it up all nice like. And each one of those costs probably $25 in materials to make. It's not that much. It's a pot, it's cement that you mix yourself, and then you can look it up on YouTube or the internet. But they're pretty simple to do. And outdoor furniture, you can make that out of pallets or 2x4s. And a lot of the cost of, like, you just buy the cushions.
Yeah, that whole like exterior light vibe is super in, right? Like it's creating that living space outdoors for sure. On that note of lights, number 5, and maybe one of the least expensive ways to increase your home's value is to upgrade your light fixtures. Right? A lot of the times the house you're living in has the light fixtures that came directly from the builder, and they're builder basic. And if you actually go to look at the price of that light fixture at Home Depot, it's like a 6-pack for $80 of like builder basic lights. And for, $100 or maybe $130 or something, you can get a beautiful, crystal looking chandelier. And those things really grab your attention, and they really take the whole focus of the room onto that light fixture. And it really has this profound sort of emotional effect on people when they're coming to look at your house. I don't know why. It's such a little thing, but it has such a big impact.
Oh, people like lights. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode. People will wait a half hour in line to drive through lights. Something to be said for it. It's calming. It's nice. It's just inviting. And I think a lot of people are it calms them a little bit, That's why the outdoor lights are so so popular right now. But yeah, like indoor light fixtures, man, take a look around, see what you got. I mean, everyone's seen those, everyone calls them boob lights, but you take those out and put in something that's maybe whatever is to your taste, and bam, just like that, it changes everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you replace a boob light with like a semi-flush light, it really has like a sharp look to it.
exactly. Just make sure your house look cleaner, maybe more streamlined. Like it makes a room look bigger because you're not breaking it up with something that dips down like that. But you're gonna find what works for you, because I mean, it could be that's where a chandelier would go instead. So that might work for you. So there you have it, everybody. There's your top 5 ways to increase your home value. We're going to take a quick break, but Sean, what are we showing them today?
Yeah. Before we go, have a look at this video that talks a little bit about the new listing that we've got, which will be coming down the pipe at 8 Chimo in Canada. It gives you a good sense of what we do in terms of when we're listing a house and some of the the marketing that we do about it. And then we'll jump into, after we come back, we'll jump into the some of the pitfalls and things to steer clear of. You might have noticed that Brent and I have a bit of experience with doing some renovations, and so some of the dangers that we saw as we went through the process of doing rentals. So
yeah, and by the time you guys see this video, the house may very well be sold, because that's how the market goes right now. But c'est la vie. But it gives you a chance to see what the Real Collective does for our clients and how we go above and beyond to service them. And above, you can see these homes with like 3D Matterport tours and that kind of thing as well. So check out this great video that Sean and Elliot have done, and we will be right back on the Real Collective podcast.
All right, you beautiful people. Today we're at 8 Chimo in Katimavik in Canada. And this is a great location because you're right at the beginning of Canada, so getting here off the Queensway only takes a few extra minutes. Not to mention, we've got the park and ride right there. Now, this home is an absolute winner because it's loaded with EUFs.
That's right, EUS. For those of you that don't know, end unit features, and this place is great for them. We've got 3 bedrooms up, 1.5 bathrooms, a finished basement, all fresh paint throughout. It is a winner on many levels.
Absolutely. But don't take our word for it. Come on in, let's have a look. Now, this great front vestibule keeps you separate. So you've got your whole house here, you've got your stairs going up, and then your door is totally separate from the rest of the house, and it's connected right with the living room.
That's right, it certainly is, and what a great living room it is. I've got wonderful views out to nature here and all kinds of natural light flooding in. This room really has a nice, comforting feel to it. And the view off the other side is great too, because I can see the rest of this beautiful main floor.
Hosting friends is an absolute breeze with a space like this. We actually have an EUF, the first one we can talk about in this property, which is the side window letting in tons of natural light. And of course, it's always time to eat.
I love eating, and you can eat where Sean was in that formal dining area, or you can eat right here in your eat-in casual kitchen. And it's got all kinds of counter space for making that food to eat. Again, natural light here flowing in from the backyard, and it's got a great view out there. This place is ready to go.
I could just eat anywhere. Now, coming to the top landing here, you can notice that you've got your central vac as well as 2 generously sized bedrooms. Both have been freshly painted throughout, not to mention great views out of these huge new windows.
And there's also huge new windows in this beautiful primary bedroom here. And the views out this way are even better. They match the views from the living room. And not only does it have plenty of space for all your primary bedroom furniture, it's also got a great big primary bedroom closet for all your primary clothes and secondary clothes. Now, rounding out this great top floor is this beautiful bathroom, updated vanity, nice tile throughout, and the view out here is also great through this window, but unfortunately the view in the actual bathroom today isn't quite as nice. You can clean it up a little bit and make it look better.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Now, this place is great from top to bottom, but in the bottom is where it becomes a real true winner with all this great storage. Closet here, this is just the beginning.
Winner!
Now, we've got that really convenient padded room behind me when we come down the stairs, and then we come into this great big huge open space. You can use it for whatever you want. Great for a kid's room, a rec room. You get a brand new furnace here, updated hot water tank as well, and look at all this really cool storage. Oh!
Winner!
More storage here. This one comes with your hose.
Winner!
And your hoser. Storage closet for your breaker panel. Storage closets for your water shutoff. Storage closet for your vanity.
And of course, being outside brings up two of the most important EUFs. The first is the fact that you've got all of this extra room on the side. I mean, there's even enough room behind you there for a shed.
That's right. And the reason why it's there is because you don't have any neighbors on this side. You're only sharing one wall with a neighbor. That is an extra super bonus. And all this extra yard space it gives with this beautiful interlock and super low maintenance backyard is a winner.
Absolutely. So if you would like to book a private showing, as always, give us a call. The phone number, 1-888-REAL-585. And until then,
Keep it real.
Collective.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Collective Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the video. Moving on right now, we've talked about in the first half ways to increase your home value. And now we're going to talk about renovation pitfalls. Sometimes there's hiccups. We've all seen HGTV. We've all seen when they're like, oh no, something bad. Oh no. And then there's dramatic music and it cuts to commercial and they come back and it wasn't so bad. What? In a scripted television show? Who knew? So here we go. We're going to talk about renovations. I've done renovations here at my house. Sean, you just got your new house and you kind of gutted it top to bottom. What was that experience like for you?
That was, all during COVID. So we closed on it at the end of 2019 and we tore the entire thing apart only to build it all back up again. The reason we did is because we bought an older house, a really old house actually, that had asbestos in the plaster. And so, we had our 2-year-old now had respiratory issues, and overall it just wasn't a thing that we were willing to live in. A house with asbestos, again, there's a difference, we talked about this last time, between friable and non-friable asbestos. You don't move it around, it's not so big of a deal, but it wasn't a risk that we were willing to take. So we gutted the whole place down. We wanted to change the layout a little bit as well, so we had to get an engineer in, we had to get an architect in to draw how it was going to be. We moved the door, we moved some doors, we moved some walls, and it was a lot of work. I think some of the pitfalls that I found is there were a few times where instead of hiring the right person to do the job, or the person who was a referral from the general contractor, I said, oh, I've got someone who can do it for less expensive, or there's a buddy who I've got who can, well, you've got me quoted at $10,000 to do this thing. Well, I think we can get it done for $8,000. And so I get the $8,000 guy in, and lo and behold, the quality of the workmanship was not good, unfortunately. And so you turn back to the general contractor and you say, and the general contractor says, well, it's not my guys who did it. They were your guys who did it. So if you find someone who you get along with well, and I did, the lesson that I learned is to just give them the reins, right? And let them run with the whole thing. I wanted to take it back oftentimes because, hey, I'm in the industry, right? So I know things and I know people and da-da-da-da-da. But there is, the analogy that I'm drawing now as I'm saying it is hire a professional and let them do their job. It's the same when you're hiring a realtor. Hire a professional and let them do their job, right? So it ended up I wanted it to be a 6-month job. Actually, I wanted it to be a 4-month job. I was told it should take at least 6 months. And then it ended up taking 11. So time obviously is money. And so there's a carrying cost to all of that. And by the end of the project, what we thought it was going to cost, what it actually cost, was a difference of about 25%. So it's 25% more in terms of the overall cost than we had budgeted for. So that was a little bit, it was a bit of a pill to swallow. But thankfully, the market had risen so much over the course of us owning it that we were able to, and the interest rates being so low, give us a little bit more flex room as we went through that process. So, yeah, I'd say, you know, we want to talk about renovation pitfalls. Find someone who you know and trust them for sure.
Yeah, and I think what you're alluding to about time and money are things that people should really pay attention to, because it's always going to take longer than you think, and it's always going to cost more than you think. So if you have a top budget, I'm just going to use round numbers of $10,000 for, let's say, a kitchen. $10,000 is what you put aside. It's probably going to cost you 12 because something will come up, and and you're like, we can bang this out in a week. It's probably going to take 2 because something's going to come up. That's what happened with my kitchen. I renovated my kitchen myself. It was difficult, and I will never do it again. I should say too, the things that I won't mess with are plumbing and electrical, because that just doesn't make sense. But for the house that I'm in, again, smart purchases, smart decisions. I got a nice backsplash. I got some new light fixtures, new pot lights in there. And I did an IKEA kitchen. So I did and those ones are pretty straightforward. Mind you, I also, my stepdad is a carpenter, not by trade, but like his experience with it. And he was at some point, the typical rural shop kind of thing. Like he's got every single tool. So I know my way around the tools. So I felt pretty good, comfortable about hanging some IKEA cabinets on the wall. And it was actually, that part wasn't so bad. The backsplash was difficult because I chose the most complicated thing, and trying to cut these tiles. Oh man, I bled so much because my backsplash is like like a hexagon almost, but like crushed down a little bit. You know that shape, the diamond, the crushed trapezoid, whatever. There are 5 different things. It's like slate, stone, glass, and metal. That's yeah. And so I'm cutting through, when I'm cutting on the wet tile saw, one, they're small enough stones that I got to keep the spaces in between because they come in those sheets, right? The 12 by 12 sheets. And I'm cutting through all of those, and some of those shards fly off. And obviously you're wearing safety goggles, so that was good. But even picking them up at one point, I picked one up and a little piece of the aluminum or the steel just went right in my thumb. Yeah, so that's difficult, man. But overall, I think our kitchen renovation turned out great. I'm very happy with it. But after that, we decided that we were going to hire people to do the other stuff, which we did. I mean, we hired people to do the electrical, the plumbing, and then all of our floors on the main floor. We had kind of different things. I've got a few friends that are contractors and things like that. And if you, like Sean was saying, if you have that, great. So I know quite a few already. You ended up hiring like an architect, didn't you?
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot to go through because we were moving walls, and because we were moving walls, an engineer needed to stamp it, and to get to an engineer, we needed to go through an architect. And we didn't know how to lay out a house. We've never been through the experience of laying out a house. And a friend of mine is an architect. So, being able to see what is this going to look like on a 3D rendering before we actually agree to say, yes, let's move that wall and put it in that spot. That was very helpful as we went through the process, for sure.
Yeah. See, and like you and I have had very different renovation experiences for that reason. Like you're gutting an entire house. I bought this house before I had my real estate license and saw the potential in it and said, okay, we can start and do this project first. We can do this project first, and then we can do this project. So it's kind of been a constant work in progress. Whereas if you went, okay, we bought the house, you guys fix it for us and we'll move in 6 months, 8 months, 11 months.
And you know what? I don't think that's the same for everybody. I think probably more people are like into what you're doing, like where it's like, hey, I'll take a crack at this and I'll get started on this project number 1 on the weekends, or I've got a week off work and I'm going to work on, I'll do the bathroom while I'm off this week, or whatever it is. Right. So I guess it's different for everybody. But yeah, it was a lot. Like it was a big job. It was draining. There were constant problems. There was always issues. oh, hey, we didn't realize that this was going to be here in this place until we took the walls down. Oh, snap. Now that we realize it's there, that changes our whole plan. Oh, okay. Now we have to go this whole other direction. Oh, and by the way, anytime you change your plan, it costs money.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, this. Oh, also, by the way, and it's just every day. It's like, hey, we have this new challenge to overcome. How would you like to overcome it? So it's, it was certainly a lot to go through, and I don't know if I really want to do it again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's why we're getting our next house. It's a new build, so we're just choosing all of our finishes ourselves, and that's going to be it. Like, we're going to finish the basement ourselves, because I would prefer to see how a house sets for the first year anyway, and then do it afterwards. I just, that's my preference. I kind of want to see that, because then you can see the walls and stuff like that. But as far as the renovations go, I mean, even for here, like we talked about it cost more time and more money with both bathrooms. Downstairs was a mess. The downstairs, like the basement bathroom, complete gut job, took everything out, put a new drain in it through the floors. They had to chip away the concrete. Like, there's no way I'm doing that myself. There's certain things that I can do and that I'm comfortable with, but I also know my limits, and that ain't it. So I'm like, that's all you guys go ahead. And then the upstairs bathroom, the previous owners of whenever, because there's been a few, messed something up when they were doing some sort of project, or just messed it up as far as maintenance goes, because I replaced the whole subfloor in the upstairs bathroom because it was all water damaged.
Oh, yuck.
Around where the tub and the toilet are sort of next to each other. I don't think it was the toilet leaking. I think it was them just not keeping water in the tub and the shower properly. And it just kind of, like we talked about, water eats away, finds a way. So through the baseboard, and sure enough, all on there. I'm just like, just take it out. I don't want to deal with like a wood hardener surface thing. Like, I want this done right. And that's the other thing too. If you're doing a renovation, spend a little bit more to get it done the right way once. Don't put duct tape on something. This isn't Red Green, even though it was a great Canadian show. And Patrick McKenna is a gem of a human being. It's not the point. Spend the money to get it done right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hire the professionals.
And a lot of times people will look to us when they're getting their house ready for sale. What should I do? What renovation should I do? How should I fix it up? And so having this experience is always helpful when we're going out into the field. The other thing I'll say is a neat program that we have at the Real Collective that not a lot of other agents are offering right now, and this is going to sound a little sales pitchy, but whatever, is that we will pay for your repairs and renovations as you're going through the process of getting your home ready to sell. We'll pay for those renovations because a lot of people don't have that extra, like you said, it's $10,000 to do the kitchen. A lot of people don't have the extra $10,000, and so, we'll pay for it up front, which will, obviously, if you spend $10,000 on your kitchen, you should be able to turn around and sell your house for $20,000 more. So it'll benefit you, right? And we'll sort of get the ball rolling, or whether it's, painting the whole house, like we talked about, earlier this episode, the house that you just saw on Chimo, they did a full paint job throughout the house. And they didn't take advantage of the program, but it was offered to them, right? So knowing that there's a program that's there and it's available, that you can do some work on your home, even if you don't have the cash liquid, you're going to have it when your house sells, right? So that is a unique, I think, unique thing that the Real Collective does offer in the marketplace in Ottawa now.
Yeah. And I think anybody that knows me knows that I wouldn't stand behind something like that, where it's like, and we'll do that for 30% on the investment. Like, it's not like an extra thing. It's just a way of making sure that our clients are taken care of and that they're happy. So make sure you do take advantage of that. So there you have it, guys. There's some renovation pitfalls, renovation, just thoughts and ideas. I think this whole show should have helped you plan a little bit, and should help you know that maybe there's certain things that you shouldn't tackle. That being said, if you are doing some of these renovations, there's nothing that says you can't go buy all the materials yourself at whatever, Home Depot, Lowe's, Rona, buy the toilet, buy the vanity, buy the tiles, buy the grout, and then hire somebody to do it for you. So if you're worried about them charging on inflation and costs, then you can do it that way too. But those are all things to look at. Hopefully it helps you out. That has been the episode for today. We hope you liked the video. If you had a good time, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. We are on YouTube's, we're on the Spotify's, we're on the Apple Podcasts. Sean, what else?
I want to make sure that if you are still listening, if you're going through the process of doing some renovations or some repairs, or you're thinking that you might want to sell your house down the road, reach out. We can give you some real pointed tips specifically for your house. Brendan brought up earlier, hey, if we're going into a condo, you might not want to do this, or you might want to reach out. We're always happy to talk with people about real estate. It's what we thoroughly enjoy. So if you are selling, or if you're not selling, but you just want some one-on-one expert opinions or even advice, as if you could go so far, reach out. We want to talk with you about that. And of course, as always, share this, like, subscribe, share with anybody who's thinking about doing some repairs or some renovations on their house. And feel free to leave some comments down below and tell us what you've done in your house, or any pitfalls or horror stories that you have as you've gone through the process of doing repairs or renovations.
Or epic wins. If anybody's ever found like a safe or something in the wall or something fun that was just written, tell us about it. Put it down below. I want to see those ones too.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. It's not
all right, guys. This is the Real Collective Podcast. I am Brendan McKeegan. This is Sean Tassay. We will see you next time on the Real Collective Podcast. See you on the YouTubes. Bye-bye.
Fire out.